For latest updates and short audio clips, follow us on Instagram, Reading the Author.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast Reading the Author, a unique show where we read authors' mind and not their book. Meanwhile, I truly believe and pray that you and your families are completely safe and healthy as well. Today we have Veena Setu Raman ma'am with us, the author of A Pinch of Hope in a Ball of Life. Thank you so much ma'am for coming on our show. It's truly our honor to have you on my show today.
Thank you so much, Gaurav. I love the way have you introduced. I'm so looking forward to this conversation.
Pleasure ma'am. So ma'am, before we get into the podcast and know much more about your book, about your vision regarding everything and all, I would request you to please introduce yourself and share about your journey of being an author and all.
Okay, so it starts from, I think, a very early stage in my childhood. I remember a scene when I was 5 years old. I would act as a journalist and an author, and I will keep taking two different seats. I will ask my questions and I'll answer my questions. I think the desire started then, and then life just happened, and I got into, I did BCom, MBA, then got into corporate life. This desire of writing again popped up for me when I delivered my son in 2009, and I went through severe postpartum depression for 9 months then. And that's when I started my blog. And as I started writing it, I realized there is something in me is coming alive. And I realized, okay, this is something I need to pay attention to within me. And in 2013, I started writing a book. In 10 pages, I got stuck and I let it go. In 2016, I again started writing another book. In 30 pages, I got stuck. Again, I let it go. And probably because I was always sitting with this desire, or this was there at the back of my mind, I would just, visualize it. I would just love stories around me. I would absolutely enjoy watching movies. I would not just look at the movies as just an entertainment. I would look at the plot. I would look at how they're approaching the story. So I was always fascinated by, living a life that we have not lived in real life, right? And creating that experience for others. And while I was going through all those experiences, in 2017, as a part of my profession, I had to travel to Delhi. I'm based out of Bangalore. So I traveled to Delhi with a colleague of mine. And after the workshop, when we were having dinner, he just shared his entire life story to me. And his story was so powerful. It was so churning. I just couldn't handle the power of his story, and I wept in front of him for 20 minutes because I was so moved by what he has gone through in his life. And because it moved me so much, I started thinking of how do I bring his story to the world. And another 1 week, as at one early morning at around 3 o'clock, I just got up with this idea suddenly that why not bring 4 more such stories along with the story to the world, because we always hear about stories of people who have become celebrities, who have become very rich. You don't get to really hear about people who sit right in front of you across the table, and all of them are inspiring enough. So why not bring such common stories which are relatable and which can speak to people in terms of the day-to-day experiences, and through that bring that message. And that's how this entire idea of book was born. And I was just fortunate enough, when I messaged those 5 protagonists, I knew who are the people whom I want to be part of my book. I messaged them requesting for their permission, and in 2 hours, 3 hours, they messaged me back, allowing me to take it ahead. Though they knew that I have never written before, I have never been an author before, they still allowed me, and that's how this started.
That's truly, ma'am, what I feel, ma'am, that, there are very less people in this earth, what I feel, who do something for the society. Most of the time people are interested in doing their profit and loss business and all those things, but very few people go beyond that and think about the society. And I'm really honored to share this platform with you, ma'am, because I'm, having you on my show is completely an honor for me. Moreover, ma'am, I would like to, just share my, motive behind this podcast with you. It's quite similar what I felt. I was having a podcast earlier, like I used to interview the celebrities and all, and my podcast name was the MG Show, in which I used to interview graphic designer, photographer, each some very famous people from their field. But later on, I have like one more unit as well. It's named as CR Reviews, and there we provided there we used to provide some writing facilities to authors and all. So there many authors came to me and say कि please हमें भी अपने podcast पे बुलाइए. But I was thinking to bring them, but the audience was not right for them. So that that's when I discussed with my team and started this podcast to just show limelight to those people who really need this, because we hardly know around 10 to 15 authors in India who are always in spotlight. And आप कभी भी उनका इंटरव्यू देखेंगे तो इंटरव्यू उन्हीं के रहते हैं. But what about those 100 books which are being published every week, we can say? So that was the sole purpose of our podcast, to bring such authors in limelight in on all the platforms, musical platforms, so that more and more people can know much more about them. And
what a wonderful intent, Gaurav. I really like this. Thank you for sharing this with me.
Thank you, ma'am. And you will be glad to know that each of our podcast has become most popular in India on Ghana app. So each of our podcasts is most popular.
Very nice to hear that, because your intent is so beautiful. There's no other way this can move forward. That's the way I look at it.
Thank you, ma'am. So ma'am, like as we know that the book is released now, so can you give us some insight, like what a reader can expect from this book? Because many people will start searching for this book after listening to this podcast, and also can you share some insights?
Absolutely. So for me, just let me start with my desire of when I started writing, what are the desires I had, and how I think that really got translated into this book, and right now the experience that I'm going through. So one of my biggest desires was, we are all stuck in this I think in this life in and caught up in the duality or dichotomy of duality, that is black and white way of looking at life, right and wrong, good and bad. And if you look at our day-to-day lives, we are not all good and we are not all bad. There will be always light and darkness in all of us. And I am a strong believer of this, right? And that's what makes us human. So if you look at any movies, you will see, I think macho heroes, or you will see women who are from, who are from going from this extreme to that extreme. So the many shades of gray in between, I think, gets always ignored in many storytelling. So one of my first desires was, or main desires was, to actually bring those shades. It could be whatever shades of gray, and help people see those and acknowledge that as well, that could happen in their life, right? Success is not always measured by becoming a CEO and or becoming the wealthiest person in the world. It can happen in many different ways. So can we really start looking at those different shades of gray? That was the primary intent. And each story was selected keeping that in mind, as to what is the protagonist's real story, what did they overcome, and what is their current life all about. Keeping this in mind, I chose those 5 protagonists, and all these protagonists in each story, you will experience as a reader, each story challenging a certain stereotyping in the society. It could be related to mental health, it could be related to same-sex marriage or love, it could be related to how a married woman should not be, those kind of narratives that we generally get into, and the possibilities of falling in love, right? How we are so stuck up with rigid definitions around all these. So I'm really hoping that reader will go through an experience that will widen their horizon in terms of how to look at life, and what kind of lenses can be changed in order to see the beauty of our life and the fellow beings, and that's the experience I think audience will go through.
So ma'am, like can we expect more such books from you, or like you want to try a bit on other genres as well, experiment in other genres as well, or like what's the upcoming plan, like what's upcoming next?
So definitely, I'm going to write more books. And I have realized, even as I was writing this book, if you actually start reading it, many readers have come back to me already and shared this feedback that each story is done in a different style, and each story sounds very different. Right. So I was really experimenting with my style as I went about writing the first story, because we need to do complete justice to that protagonist who lived that life, right? And hence I did not want to contain myself in and get stuck with one style. And that's what I'm planning to look at in future books as well. So I do not want to get stuck with one genre or one type of writing. I'm looking forward to probably write more series in a pinch of itself, probably it would be various emotions, like how hope is an emotion in this book. It would be another emotion, the second book that I'm planning to start in January. And I'm also looking forward to write many more books about human behaviors, spiritual psychology and all that, because there is a lot of scope to bring those understanding and make it a normalized conversation in the society today, to make people realize that psychology is not just a conversation that needs to be done between psychologists or psychotherapists. There is a high possibility of widening that particular narrative with the larger mass, and that's what I'm looking at.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, my next question to have this podcast is I have been in talking with around 50 to 60 authors as of now. Most of them are just planning to build on their planning to work on their personal brand. They want to create a certain sort of impact on the reader's mind, so that when, let's say, from 2 hours from now, if the readers hold their book, then they have a sense of is author ki book hai to ye book aisi hogi. So is there any sort of branding going behind your name as well? Do you want a certain sort of impact to create on readers mind? कि आज से अगर कुछ सालों बाद अगर कोई आपकी बुक उठाए, क्योंकि इट्स अ बुक बाय वीना मैम, तो व्हाट सॉर्ट ऑफ इम्पैक्ट, व्हाट सॉर्ट ऑफ दैट that sudden first thought you want to create on readers mind?
So I want to be known as an author who writes stories that are relatable, who completely understands the human emotions and the intricacies of mind and the layers that we carry with us. And I want to go deeper into that space, to really bring in the intensity of that space to the larger audience. Apart from this, I have not really thought about a specific branding for me as such, because for the last 9 years, from the time I went through depression and I started my journey as a psychotherapist, and when I started going through therapy journey with a therapist, I realized the value that I want to stand for is authenticity and vulnerability, right? And in my day-to-day life, whether I'm an HR leader or a psychotherapist or an executive coach, now as an author or a speaker, in all these aspects and in my family, these are two values that are extremely important to me. And I'm hoping that I would continue to manifest that through books as well.
So basically you want to write something which can be an eye-opener for the people, for the society as well, right?
I would not want to put the word like eye-opener, because even if something very basically moves in someone, within them, if it makes them uncomfortable, if my book is making even one reader uncomfortable, it is making them get in touch with some sadness in them, or some shame or angst or anger or disappointment in them, I think that itself is a big win. That's how I see it. So eye-opening probably would be a very fantasy that many of us would be carrying. So I do not want to use that word. Rather, I would say, if it makes readers think even about one point about a distorting belief that they are carrying in their life, because of which a suffering is happening in their own life, I think that itself is a big deal.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, what I personally feel and what we all can see, that after the first lockdown was over, the numbers of writers are getting increased day by day. As I mentioned earlier, that hundreds of books are being published every week. As such, the publishing has become so easy, like Kindle publishing, self-publishing, and there are lots of publication houses opening very frequently. So my question to you is, what sort of competition do you feel in this industry? Like a sort of neck-to-neck competition, or you're someone who feels that creativity में कोई competition नहीं होता है, सबकी अपनी race होती है? What's your take on this?
I strongly believe competition is competition and politics. These are two things I think our world has created to keep us working from the space of fear, right? And I refuse to work from a space of fear, and I would love to work from a space of faith. It doesn't mean I don't carry fears, right? It just means that it's a constant attempt throughout my life that I'll go through to pause and ask myself, why am I working from a space of fear, right? And change myself accordingly to come up from space of faith. Because of this, I strongly believe there is a space for all of us to exist in this universe and create something. The world is so big that each of us, the more we do, the better for the world. And all of us have enough space to exist and excel here. If we don't see competition in the space, there will be enough space for us to move forward and make an impact. And that's how I see it. Competition happens when you're caught up in the dichotomy of failure and success. Then we get to constantly compare ourselves with someone else. But guess what? Their journey is very different from my journey.
Definitely.
And hence, I'm glad their story happened. I'm glad their books happened. And let it do well, along with my book as well.
Okay, ma'am. That's really, glad to know that you are looking for the big, the bigger picture rather than, just having a competition with the fellow authors.
Thank you. Oh, I would want to enjoy this journey. Competition will take away the entire joy from the process.
Definitely, ma'am. What, ma'am, we all know that writing is not the primary job most of the authors do. So what they do primarily is full of competition. So let them enjoy this, their secondary or, this, what the writing field is.
Yeah.
Okay. So, ma'am, my next question to you is do you have any writing schedules for yourself? Like every day you devote some hours to your writing, or it's just like a random, like I used to do. कि कभी कोई thought आया तो I just jot it down on my phone or on my diary, and then कभी बैठ के आराम से लिख रहे हैं. Like how does it goes with you?
So I don't have any ritual, only because I think I'm not disciplined enough to have a ritual. And regarding this book, when I started in December 2017, I finished the book in December 2018. So it took me 1 year. And as part of this, only thing that I did was whenever I feel like writing, I will sit with it. And if I'm in a mood to write for like 5 hours someday, then I will sit with that. If some days when I don't have any mood to write or any energy to write, I will not write it. And every weekend, entire Saturday, Sunday, I will devote to it. And that's how the entire year I went about it. Also, any family vacation that we used to go at that point of time, my entire family will be having fun. And I would be sitting and writing. Right? So for me, I need to really feel that I'm going to write from my heart, and that's a space I'm in, and that's when I do write. I don't think I have gone through any pressure for myself where I forced myself to write when I didn't feel like writing. And I think that particular trap happens when there is a timeline and we are working towards the timeline. And for me, creativity is a genuine process where we need to give time for our being, not just doing, right? So there were many days that I had taken break from writing. And whenever I used to travel that year, I would again, for work purpose, then I would look at my schedule and accordingly I would look at writing. So 2018 by December is when I finished the writing. And after that, very rarely I have written let's say a blog or anything for that matter, because there is so much that I had to do from an editing process and to go about the post-writing process. I thought, let me just devote myself to this one book, get it out, and then let me focus on other things.
What you said, ma'am, I completely agree with you. And what I personally believe is, creativity is something which follows you. You just can't chase it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so ma'am, we have talked about your book, about your journey, about your brand, about your vision regarding your books. But now coming to your personal life, can you share with us, what was the most happiest moment of your life? I assume that, I am completely assured that there must be many. But if you can just, share one of them with us, then that would be really great.
Actually, there are many happy moments, and I'm wondering what happy moment to share.
Hmm.
Because in general, on a day-to-day basis itself, I get happy in my job when I see somebody healing,
Hmm.
somebody breaking down and healing as part of the therapy or coaching process,
Hmm.
or someone just chasing their dream and achieving it. While there are many such moments that I completely feel the bliss, I think one thing that stands out would be when. When I first this goes back to my school days, college days. In my 12th standard, my result did not get published in paper. And everybody in my family, including me, I thought I flunked. Right, and it was just a printing mistake because of which the number did not come in the result and got published in the newspaper. And after 3 days, I got to know I had cleared the exam with first class. I think if I were to reflect on that moment from at this point of time, I think it really was the first moment that I got in touch with the realization around how just failure is so part of life, and it is going to be so. And the bliss that I felt when I realized that I have passed the exam, that roller coaster that I went through those 3 days, I think is what comes to my mind.
My next question is going to be something which will be beneficial for everyone, whether a reader or a writer or everyone, whoever is listening to this podcast. Ma'am, like nowadays we just think of many things to be achieved by us, but there comes many times like when we fail, we don't get to achieve what we have thought, and there comes the sad part, the depression part. So can you share something like how do you deal with your failure? How do you deal with your low times and all?
Sure. So this I can talk for like hours because there are so many failures in life. So one of the key things I have learned is to sit with that pain, right? To sit with that sadness, to sit with that shame or anger or angst or disappointment. Many times what we have been told is there are positive emotions, there are negative emotions. And at any cost, we need to be positive and we need to avoid negative emotions, right? But that's not how life works. When failure is inevitable, when disappointments are inevitable, just to be able to not wanting to run away from that moment and not wanting to run away from that emotion, but to just sit with that pain and to be okay with that without wanting to snap back to a joyful space again. I think just allowing that in itself is the biggest gift that we can give to ourselves, because that's when we are allowing ourselves to expand and be okay with all the parts of us, including the part of us that we are not comfortable with, right? So my biggest invitation to everyone would be to just feel that pain, whatever that emotion could be. It's okay to feel that emotion and not carry the pressure to to just snap back to the normal way. If it is grief, just grieve as much as you want. If you're feeling the shame, sit with it. It is important for you to understand what that shame is all about, and you're as good as you're good enough, whether you are experiencing a happiness or shame at the end of it. And that's the realization I would love for everybody to go through.
Okay. I'm sure that's gonna help a lot of people who are listening to this podcast. So my next question to this podcast is like, can you share with us like what was going at the back of your mind when the book was about to release? Like, were you feeling excited, nervous? Have you marked such milestones for yourself कि मेरी book को इतना sale करना होगा? What was going behind it?
So the biggest desire that I had was I should have fun in the process. I don't want to get stressed and worried about this, because this is my biggest dream that I'm realizing in real life, right? So this is an opportunity for me to absolutely embrace it and see it for what it is, rather than thinking about future and getting angst about it. So I really wanted to be in those moments and be fully present and enjoy. And hence, that was my biggest desire. And hence, as I was thinking about it, I had this idea of why not connect with 100 readers and surprise them, and not use this as part of any marketing technique. And because of the pandemic, obviously I could not sign any books. So what I did was I took 100 poster stickers and wrote 10 messages across 100 poster stickers. And my son put a smiley on each of it, which is with a sketch pen. And we had absolute fun doing that. And we sent it to publisher, and publisher worked on putting it in various books. And I realized how much fun readers had when they got those poster stickers. I didn't even realize it would mean so much to people. They had fun with me, while I had hoped that I will have fun in the process. That's one thing that happened. Another thing that happened was the launch event that I went ahead with during the on October 1st when book was launched. I really wanted to co-create that experience with some people who are so important for me, and who are who have played a beautiful role in my life. And that was another beautiful experience that I went through. And I'm right now overwhelmed with all the love I'm getting, the way people are responding, calling me, saying I cried after reading the story. I'm going to pause after second story and not read for a few more days because I think it has touched my nerve. All that is happening, and I'm like, okay, so this is all possible. It feels very surreal right now. I don't think I ever had a fear or a target in terms of the number, because I believe, my role is to really put my 100% in the writing process and the effort after that. Rest, if people like it, they will own it and they will embrace it and take it forward. Right? I don't need to worry about that.
True.
And just because it let's say 500 books are sold instead of 5,000, I'm not going to look at this as a failure or success. If 5,000 people get it, great. 5,000 people are able to read experience of these people, and it is making them think. If 500 people, it has reached 500 people, great. We are starting with 500 people. We have a long journey to go from here on. That's it.
Definitely, ma'am. Okay, so ma'am, my last question to this podcast is what are advices for the upcoming authors? There must be many, upcoming authors who will be listening to this podcast, holding their draft in their hand, in their diary, or in their laptop, and their book haven't been published yet. So, what sort of advice would you like to give to them?
Couple of advices. One is, your idea is your own. Do not look for validation from others as part of your idea. When you are excited about your idea, you will be able to translate that energy to others. Right? So believe in your idea, and do not worry about whether few people have done that already in this world, or what if more people have in your peer group who have already done that. As I said, there is always a space for everyone. And hence, absolutely embrace your idea and go ahead with it without looking for validation. Second, as part of this process, do not try to imitate others. Your writing style is going to be as unique as your fingerprint. So just believe in it, that you're going to bring your uniqueness to the book, and you're not here to prove to the world that you're better than anyone else. And if you believe in that, you'll be able to take this forward. And the last is, always write for yourself. Because if you start writing for others, there are always going to be people who are happy with the process and who are going to be not happy with the process. And then you will end up in a trap of constantly wanting to please the world. And hence, do not get into that trap. Write for yourself and enjoy the process. And be very open to iterating on the go, learning in the process and iterating. Do not get so emotionally attached to it that you become rigid, thinking that this is the best, because then you will be sabotaging your own journey of improving as an author, and hence be very open to the possibilities of improving yourself.
Okay, so that's all for today, guys. I hope you must have enjoyed this episode, and if you do, then do follow our podcast, Reading the Author, available on all the leading podcast platforms. And don't forget to buy and read the book. आप जस्ट Amazon पे जाएं, वहाँ पे सर्च करें वीना सेतुरामन मैम की बुक आ जाएगी. जरूर खरीदें, पढ़ें और अपने जानने वालों के साथ, जानने वालों के साथ जरूर शेयर करें. Thank you so much, ma'am, for coming on our show. Thank you for enlightening us with your words.
Thank you so much, Gaurav, for having me here. I absolutely enjoyed this conversation. And yes, the book is already available on Amazon, Flipkart, and Kindle, and in Amazon. In all countries, it is available. So I'm really hoping more people will, will embrace this book
Definitely.
based on this podcast.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you.